Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided in part by Thurston Talk. Hello, my name is Andrea Capere, and you're watching Mission Nonprofit. Each month, we connect with local organizations and agencies that are making a positive impact in our communities. We've invited the Washington Service Corps to talk to us about their role in placing volunteers in local organizations. I'd like to introduce to you members of the Washington Service Corps, Mary Birchem and Shelby Meyenburg, as well as Program Coordinator Dave Reid. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having us.
So can you tell us a little bit about each of your roles in Washington Service Corps?
Sure. I'm a program coordinator, so what I do is I assist the projects that are out in the field or around the state of Washington in administering their particular AmeriCorps programs. So, and right now I have two particular programs that I oversee, which is the Environmental Stewardship Program, which Mary is a member of, and also the Veterans and Military Families focus area. So, pretty exciting work. It's a great opportunity to assist those organizations and agencies that are out around the state of Washington in providing the services that they're doing in their individual communities.
So you're an employee of Washington Service Corps?
Yes, employee of Washington Service Corps, and we're a unit within the Employment Security Department for the state of Washington.
Okay. And Mary, tell us about your work.
So I'm a service member in my second term at Capital Land Trust, and my title is the Restoration Coordinator. So it's my job to do stewardship activities on the land that Capital Land Trust protects for wildlife habitat, also some working farms. And so I am in charge of doing all of the outreach and recruiting for volunteers, and then actually implementing the work the day of. So we do everything from fall plantings, blackberry removal, mulching, some trail work as well, and we focus mostly in Thurston and Mason counties.
That sounds like a great opportunity for service.
It's amazing because I mean, you talk to so many different interesting people from all kinds of different backgrounds, and it's really great.
What about you, Shelby?
I'm a technology and resource navigator at WorkSource Thurston County. A lot of the people that come in to our office are people trying to receive or are currently receiving unemployment. A lot of the people that come in, they do have difficulties using the computer at times, and that's what I am there for. While serving, if someone needs help with formatting a resume, getting onto our website, worksourcewall.com, getting onto the unemployment site, I can help them get into those services and get what they need.
So those sound like two very disparate areas for service. So maybe we could talk about some of the variety of areas that Washington Service Corps
Sure.
works in.
Sure. So what we have is what are called focus areas. So nationally, with the Corporation for National Community Service, they have focus areas that they want to concentrate on in the communities around the United States. And for us, what we do is we kind of, some places might have, and other states might have one or two focus areas that they focus and concentrate on. We have 7. Okay. So we're kind of hitting everything across the board that we see and that we hear from our partner agencies out in the field.
And that's in Thurston County.
Well, this is all over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're statewide with members. So we have Healthy Futures, which is addressing issues in regards to health, nutrition, economic opportunity, which is assisting individuals with preparation to be ready to handle themselves in an economic world. Education, so we have members who are serving in schools. We also have individuals in the my focus areas, which is environmental stewardship. So these are individuals who are doing environmental education and is also doing conservation side. And then we have the veterans and military families. The ones that we really focus on is getting veterans as volunteers with these organizations out around the state. And then we have disaster prep also, which is assisting community members in getting prepared for anything that could happen in regards to a disaster. And then we also have a youth focus. So we're trying to cover all of the different areas, and we do a pretty good job of that.
All right.
Yeah.
So first, let's start by talking about how does an AmeriCorps or a Washington Service Corps volunteer get involved? How do you apply and get involved as a service member?
So I first heard of the program through one of my supervisors at an internship that I had previously. And so I just looked up, I didn't know what AmeriCorps was, so I Google searched it and came across all of this great information. And I was like, yeah, I think this would be a good fit for me. They have so many different service areas, and environmental has always really spoken to me. And so there's lots of different organizations that you can choose to serve with. And so I was looking through the list, and I found Capital Land Trust and applied, and been there for 2 years.
That's fantastic. What about you? What drew you to it?
For me, it's actually been a little bit of a family affair. My twin brother, he served at WorkSource Thurston with Pack Mountain. I think it was in 2012, 2013, and then that extended into 2014 as well. And then my little brother, he served in, I believe it was 2012 as well. He did it with the Conservation Corps, restoring trails out in some of the local forests areas. And so I already knew a lot about AmeriCorps going in, and seeing that there was a position open, I applied for it and heard back relatively quickly, and interviewed and was going in, I think it was the very next week, ready to go and ready to help serve.
And so let's talk about what happens after you're done with your service. It sounds like it's a really amazing opportunity to grow yourselves as professionals in this service setting. So where do you see yourselves once you enter the workforce?
So I started in September 2016 with Capital Land Trust, and I had such strong connection with their mission and with the volunteers that I chose to do a second service term. And I actually they're going to be hiring me as their education outreach coordinator.
Congratulations.
So it's full-time permanent, so that's my next step.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that is definitely a plus doing AmeriCorps is receiving an education award. Mm-hmm. It's almost $6,000 if you complete your full service term, which is 10 and a half months and a total of 1,700 hours during those months. Mm-hmm. I am going to be paying off some of my student loans, about a third of it, and then I will be, I may go back to school at that point. I haven't totally decided yet, but that's always one thing you can do, is use that for future education as well as past education. At WorkSource Thurston, I absolutely enjoy what I do. I love it. I love going there every day, helping everybody out with what they need, whether that be staff members mm-hmm. or people from the community. I'm really hoping something opens up soon. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoy what I do. I want to continue to be there. I want to continue to grow, and I can see myself being there for years to come.
So maybe there's someone watching that has a position open that might want to take advantage of.
Fingers crossed on
All
that.
right, great. So obviously the service members that come out of Washington Service Corps are highly skilled,
yes.
passionate about service. So can you tell us about how nonprofits and mm-hmm. government agencies can take advantage of
Sure.
your services?
Sure. They can go to our website, which is www.washingtonservicecorps.org, all one word, and look at the information that we have on the website, or they can give us a call down at the agency, and then we can take them through. We can give them an idea of what we do in general, and then find out what their needs are and see if their needs are kind of in line with what we do, because there might be something that someone is doing that doesn't necessarily fit into what our mission is and what their mission is. So we try to find where is that fit. And then if there is a fit, then we say, hey, this is a great opportunity for you to look at our request for application process, which we just went through with the first group of sites that have applied to partner with us. And any nonprofit or government agency that has that need and is serving something serving in their community, they can find out this is the fit for us, this is where we would like to place members. And then once they apply, and if they are selected and awarded, then we start the next process of, getting that information out, where you have the individuals who see the recruitment bulletins online, and then they can apply. It's a national website, which is operated by the federal government, and a lot of times also the projects will link to all of their internal networks, whether it's within here with Washington State. I've seen some of the sites say that they're going to put it on a job board with a college that's out of state, because they know that there are college students who are looking for opportunities to serve in the communities, and not only just in their own community in another state, but also coming to Washington State, which is a very desirable place for members to come, because we certainly see that by members coming from all over the U.S. to come and serve in Washington State. So that's kind of how the ball gets started. And then once we get the sites on board, then we give them that support and assistance that they need to keep their program up and running and do everything that they feel that they need to do. So it's a great opportunity to partner.
Is it difficult to apply?
It is not too difficult to apply. There is, like I said, that request for application process, but and there are a number of questions that will be asked. One of the first things we want sites to do is really think about, is a AmeriCorps member for me? And then once they make that decision, they've talked to us, they've been to the website, so all of the information that we've had there, then they can go through the actual paperwork process. There are a number of questions that will be asked, and things that we're looking for is, what is the mission of your organization? What is the need in your particular community? How will an AmeriCorps member fit into that need? What will the AmeriCorps member do to help with that need? What are your interventions? Are the interventions that you're using, are they something that are research based? Those are the things that we have to see. And then once they can give us that information, then we start the internal process of deciding, which organizations can be awarded, how many members can be awarded, because the organizations will also ask for a specific number. And then once we make the final decision and to bring on an organization or agency as a partner, then we're all going downhill from there. Everything is just easy riding to get things done. So it's a pretty good process.
So was there something that surprised you when you applied for AmeriCorps about just the shape of the program or the things that you'd be tasked with?
I was surprised at how much I fell in love with it. I wasn't expecting to do a second term at all. I was really surprised at the community, the feeling of community that I found. As somebody that's not from Olympia, finding your community was really important for me. And so the AmeriCorps network is very strong this year, and also that I get to work with so many volunteers. Just finding the community connections that way have been surprising. And just the variety of skills that I've been able to work on. You see a job application, it might mention a few skills, but it really goes way beyond that. And there's skills that I see as really valuable going forward in my career.
Mm-hmm. And what about you?
I think for me, the most surprising thing was finding something that I truly enjoyed. When I graduated, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew AmeriCorps was definitely an option, and the technology and resource navigator position really rang true for me because I grew up using computers, and I know not everybody had that same opportunity. Mm-hmm. And so helping people get past that hurdle is definitely something that I can do. But I think I grew to enjoy what I did a lot more than I thought I would. Like I said before, I definitely want to get hired on eventually. If not in that office, then in another office somewhere in the state. I love what they have and what they provide as well.
So it sounds like a great opportunity to build your skills and be surprised at your capacity going
Absolutely.
Forward in your career.
Oh, there are just so many things that I'm always so amazed when I see once we have our project sites that are selected and they're submitting the actual position description forms, because that's something that they have to provide to us to show us what is your member going to be doing at your site specifically, and then you read all of the things that the members are going to be doing, and you say, this is amazing. And it's like, man, I wish I could be out there. So, because I mean, they're doing so many things. I mean, we've had members who have been at sites where part of their service is diving. It's just so much diversity in what the members are doing out in the field and providing such a valuable service in these communities. So it's just endless. So definitely for someone who is looking to gain experience, if they have none previously, this is a great opportunity to come in and serve with the Washington Service Corps. Or we have individuals who are taking a break from college, who they've graduated and they want to serve in the community. We also have individuals who've graduated and they want to expand on their knowledge base and get more practical hands-on experience before they go into the workforce. And then we also have individuals on the other side of the AmeriCorps member side who are older individuals who have worked for a number of years, who've retired and decided, I want to come back and still give and be a part be active in the community. And they're out there just like the folks who just graduated college, or just like the 18-year-old who's come in and applied to be a member. So we have a wide swath of individuals who want to be involved in their community in a more intense way, and definitely being an AmeriCorps member gives them those chances.
It sounds like there might also be an opportunity for someone to participate if they're going through a career change.
Yes, very definitely, because as they are looking at the recruitment bulletins online that are posted by the various agencies, maybe it's something they've never thought of before, such as I had a member who had applied in the environmental field, but when I looked at their application, it was all communications, and they were a communications graduate from back east. So I said, what made you think, when eventually they were brought on by that particular project site, it was a state park, and I said, what made you decide to come into the environmental side? It's such a change from the communications. She said, I just wanted to learn something different. And she says, I love it. She says, I still get to do my communications piece because I'm doing environmental education, but I'm speaking and talking to groups of children who are coming from the local school district and coming to learn about what things look like on the seashore, and and how to treat the environment and be a good steward. So she was still able to use some of her communications training, but just using it in the environmental field. So there's just so many ways that a person can have an interest in one way and find that they have an interest in a whole different field. And all it does is expand their knowledge and their experiences. So it's a great thing.
And ultimately uplift all of us in the community.
That's exactly right, yes.
So how can the community contribute to the work that you're doing if they are not able to join as a service member? Are there other ways that they can get involved?
Yeah, sure. They can still talk and network through the individual agencies that they know of and talk to, because maybe they can't have an AmeriCorps member at their particular agency, but maybe the people that they work with and they network and they talk to, that particular individual or agency can use an AmeriCorps member or have one serving at their site. So it's definitely, it can travel by word of mouth, in addition to seeing the information that we have online or through the national website. So there's all of these little networks, and I know especially as you talk through the different focus areas and the individuals who oversee those focus areas, we know about these networks that take place, because it's like, I never knew you guys existed, but then I talked to so-and-so who talked to so-and-so, and they gave me your number, and I decided to call and see what it's all about. And then I talk to the person and say, what do you think? And they say, I'm going to put in an application. They say, that sounds great. I look forward to seeing it. So there's just so many ways that they can still support us, even though if it's not personally with their particular agency, they can still be that word of mouth from the information that they know about and spreading it on to others.
Great. And with just a few minutes left, we've got an application period coming up?
Yes. So right now we have gone through our initial, what we call priority applicants. So we still have until the end of April. and we are still looking for individuals to apply. So once again, they can go to our website, www.washingtonservicecorps.org, and they'll see the links that we have for become a partner, and then they can check that area out, and then attached to that is the actual what we call guidance document, which will instruct the individual on how to fill out the application, and then there's the actual application. So we just ask that they take their time filling that application out. They want to answer all the questions and be as precise as they can, because we want as much information as possible so that we can make sure that there's a good fit for that particular organization or agency. And we just have so many things. We have nonprofits, we have cities, we have counties, we have conservation districts, we have federal agencies. So there are just so many individuals that partner with us each year.
And there was something that was interesting to me, because I looked over the application, was to see that there's sort of a readiness assessment.
Yes.
So if you're a nonprofit organization, not necessarily sure yet that you're ready, go through that application and look at that readiness assessment to see, you know, well, what are the things that I need to take care of before formally applying?
Right, and even if it's, because they might look at it and say, well, we don't have something this year, but next year we're planning for it. And we see that oftentimes where, especially when it comes to budgets, because, you know, especially with nonprofits, they have to talk with their board of directors and make these decisions. So this is a good opportunity to see if they're not ready just yet, they can still present the information to their executive committee or their board of directors and say, this is a direction we would like to go in next year. Can we budget for these particular items? And then by the next year, they're all ready and they can submit the application. But if they still want to do it and they have the time now, that yes, they can still get an application into us, and then we can review it and then make the decision on awards. So,
and what's that deadline again?
The deadline will be May 1st, I believe, is when the applications have to absolutely be in for everyone, and then we go from there.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else that you two want to share with our last few moments?
Well, I know here in the next couple of months is when the applications for members will be starting up. So make sure you get onto the website that Dave said earlier. It'll direct you to the application website where you can get things started on that end.
Great.
Yeah, I've just, AmeriCorps has just been really great experience for me, and I'm really, really happy with the decision that I made to do it, and I wouldn't change it.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
That's all we have for you. You can see Mission Nonprofit on Channel 77 on Sundays at 4:30 p.m., Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Thursdays at 7:30 p.m., and Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. You can also catch us online at tcmedia.org. See you next time.